Hi everyone, welcome back. So if you just watched my last video, you would have seen my wrap up of 2018 statistics for my reading year. And now I'm just going to quickly go over my 2019 goals and plans and thoughts about what my sort of reading year is going to hopefully be like. So let's get into it. Okay, so my major goals for 2019 are: number one, continue reading by whim. So whim reading / mood reading is something that gets spoken about a lot in the bookish world, and it is something that works well for me. I do like to make TBRs just for fun and just for inspiration, but a lot of the time, as you've probably noticed if you're not new to my channel, I don't stick to them. I generally do read some things off TBRs, so it does help in some way to inspire me to pick up things that maybe have been on my shelf for far too long. But in a lot of the cases, I just get overwhelmed by the list, and my brain does this thing where it goes, I don't want to read any of those books, and it talks me out of it, and then I pick something else up. But that can also be a blessing in disguise, because sometimes I'll end up picking up an old book from my shelf that I hadn't considered, that I'd never read before. So reading by whim is the best way for me to read. I enjoy books better that way. There's no pressure. I think I read more that way. So I would like to, number one, over everything else, continue to mood read / whim read. Number two, my goal again is 52 books, as it has been for the last year or two. It's a realistic goal for me. As I said in the last video, I have a lot of things happening in my life. I don't just work and then come home and have my life to live. I sort of work and then have my life to live, but I choose to do a lot of other things with my time, like freelance work, photography, projects, working on different things. So I don't fit as much reading in when a lot of other people do. So 52 is realistic. Hopefully I will go much further than 52, but that's just a nice goal for me to stick to, I think. And then there's no pressure as well. Pressure is not necessarily a good thing with me. It just makes me feel a bit stressed, and I want to be able to enjoy my reading time. Number three is a new one, and this is a spending budget. So as you know, I am pregnant. I am due in a couple of months. I've never had a child before, so our life is about to drastically change. We've done a huge budget, cut down on our spending like dramatically, as people who have always just kind of been able to, you know, use their income disposably and buy things that make them happy, and them being us, and, you know, overdo it. I've spent a lot of money on books in my years of working full time. Now we've had to cut that right back. So I've given myself a realistic budget of $20 a month. That's $5 a week. That's not much money at all. That's a coffee, if you think about it, a week. So if I have $20 a month, the idea is, if I don't spend the $20 that month, I can transfer it to a following month. I can do that as many times as I like. And if I overspend one month, it gets taken out of the coming month's budget. So we've just finished January. I've already done a month, and I've only spent $7. So I am so proud of that. I have the hiccups because I'm pregnant. I don't think I've ever spent such a small amount of money on books in a month. Actually, no, that's a lie. I've probably gone some months without buying any, but $7, that's one op shop stop. I got 3 books and it was $7 total, and I'm so proud of that. So you'll see in my wrap up what I got there. But so essentially, you know, I still have $13 remaining, which I will transfer on to the next month and then the next month. Probably because we are quite frugal at the moment, I will probably end up having quite a backlog of budget set aside later in the year. So maybe I can do a bit of a spending spree then, just to sort of, you know, have some fun as a gift to myself. But for now, I don't feel any necessary pressure to buy. I have a one in, one out policy this year. So I've already started culling my shelves. So the books that I've started culling, I'm piling up. And for every book I bring in, I would like to get rid of a book, which is realistic. I have a lot of books. I've read a lot of them, and a lot of them have been there for so long that I probably won't ever realistically read them. So thanks to all of the decluttering shows we've been watching on Netflix lately, we are feeling quite sort of good about letting things go. And I think this is a really refreshing thing to do every couple of months, or maybe even every month I'll do an unhaul and a haul at the same time. Prioritizing my shelves. This is number 5. So prioritizing my shelves and my to be read that I already own is number 1. I really want to focus on that even over library books, because every time I hire a library book, I'm not reading something that I've already got on my shelf, which is just wasting space. So I really need to focus on that. And if I don't read them, then I obviously don't want to own them. So it sort of puts things into perspective. Number 6 is utilize the library. So also holds only. So what I've been doing is the last year or two, I've been typing in all the books I want to read that I don't want to purchase and don't have a copy of. Not all of them, but the priorities, and going on the wait list for the library. And then when it comes in, go to the library, pick up my hold and leave. Because what I generally do is I go in, I pick up my hold, I just have a little browse through the shelves, I walk out with 12 books. I don't read them all in 2 weeks. You can't read 12 books in 2 weeks unless you have nothing else to do. So I'm sort of putting all this effort into going and picking up these books, and then I'm not reading them. And then I have this image in my head of, oh, that book, I never read that book when I had it. So I don't end up reading it later either. It's like it almost jilts my brain from wanting to read that book. It's so silly. I don't know how my brain works, but yeah, that's one thing that's sort of been restricting me. So I need to stop doing that. Number 7 is opt into the book swap that I run in my private Facebook group every month. So every time there's a book swap, I need to opt in, because it's a chance to be given a book that I don't know what it's going to be. I don't expect what I'm getting. It's always a nice surprise. It's very cheap. All you do is pay for shipping and you get a book at your door, selected by someone who knows your reading taste, can look you up on Goodreads. So if I opt into that, then I'm always getting something new to read, and I don't feel like, oh, I haven't spent any money, I don't have any new books, because I'm getting something every month. So that's definitely something I want to continue with. Number 7 is read all of the book club picks for my book club. So I've had a book club for a couple of years now, and even if I'm involved in the voting process, well, even though I am involved in the voting process, sometimes I just don't end up reading the book. I'm not sure why, but I'm going to try and force myself to do that this time. Every book that gets selected for book club, I'm going to read it. Number 9 is read some classics. So I'm not giving myself a number or a percentage. I just have it on my goals list. It doesn't really matter if I don't do it, but I just want to remind myself that I haven't read a lot of classics, and I would like to read more. I do feel sad when I look at my read shelves and I realize that I haven't read a lot of classics. So I would like to attempt to do that this year. Number 10 is get through a list of writers on my TBR. So I have written up a list of writers that I have a lot of their books. I do that thing where I buy a lot of books from different writers. I hoard their books, and I've never read them before because I think I'm going to enjoy reading them. So I've got a list of writers for myself that I would like to read this year, that I can tick off and say, yes, I've read that writer. Yes, I know I like them or I don't like them, and either get rid of the books because I don't like them or whatever it is, just so that I sort of get through them. They're just like sitting there waiting for me, and what am I waiting for? Why is it taking me so long? It's so silly. So that is it. That is my goals list. I hope you enjoyed listening to that. I love goals videos, so I would love to watch yours if you have one. If you don't have a channel, let me know what your goals are down below, because I really, really am so inspired by people's goals lists. It's such a nice time of year to watch all of these videos popping up. I've got a lot in my watch later list on YouTube. So yeah, I like to sort of when I've got some free time, sit down and feel inspired by watching those videos. Like I said, I'm having a child this year, so who knows if I'll get any of these goals accomplished, but I like making these videos nonetheless, and it'll be interesting to see how the year pans out. So thanks so much for watching, everyone. I love having you here. I love the community and being able to talk about this stuff. Even though it's a camera, I know that there are people that are taking this, taking this conversation in and responding in comment form or however it is and connecting, and I love this bookish community. It's really fantastic. So I appreciate being here, and thank you for welcoming me so warmly over the past 6 months. I've only been here since like June last year, so it's been a really nice time, and I look forward to sharing more with you soon. So thank you so much, everyone. I will speak to you very shortly. Bye.